also be a button to hit full screen. That way everybody gets a chance to see everything. Okay, great. So Members First, I know that there's quite a few clients and non-clients on the call, but as you know, Members First does a variety of things in addition to our website design component of our company. We do offer a full reservation suite, everything from tea times to event registrations to court reservations, fitness, massage, and spa, in addition to conference rooms. Today, we're actually going to be focusing on the junior program registrations. Now, most junior programs, from what I've seen as a past manager, is that most junior programs at clubs are actually just comprised of a variety of paperwork. Your camp counselors or managers are collecting PDFs or using Excel spreadsheets for your attendance lists. However, there's no database at a club to be able to make it easy for your parents to sign up their children. So what we've done here at Members First is we've tried to make that task a little bit easier, not only for the parents, but also the managers at the club. So what we'll be covering today for the junior program webinar is going to be the member experience. We're going to talk a little bit about email notifications. That way you can communicate with your parents. We'll also talk a little bit about the registration list and how your team can export that for your camp counselors. And then we'll also save some time at the end for some questions and answers. So what we'll do is we'll actually use our demo site today. We'll use the Club at Neptune Cove as the example. So let me bring that up here. Now, the Club at Neptune Cove, this is our demo site here at Members First. So there is a variety of information on here. If anybody does want access to this, feel free to contact me following. I'll be able to set you up with a temporary username and password. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log in as a member. So I'm going to put in my username and credentials. Keep in mind that my username and credentials are in super user in our administrative database. So I'm going to go ahead and select a member, Francis Abernathy. Now, if this was the real Francis Abernathy, he would have logged into the website and be taken directly to the member homepage. So one of the things that we've seen here is that organizing your site in a way that makes it easy for your parents to navigate to the junior programs is super important. You could certainly use any of your utility navigation, or you would be able to create calls to action over here on the right-hand side. The Club at Neptune Cove has a button over here on the right, and we'll select junior programs. Now, junior programs at most clubs, they can take a variety of forms. So some of those could be used for summer programs, after school programs. It could be for tennis camps, summer camps. It could be used for swim and dive and sailing lessons. So there's a variety of different things that you can use the program registration module for. Our team would help you configure it based off of the programs that your club specifically offers. However, the Club at Neptune Cove, and I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit for the screen share. So the Club at Neptune Cove actually has 3 available sessions right now. So they're offering their parents the ability to sign up for the fall swim team. They also have a winter junior program, and they're also being prepared for the summer junior program because 2017 is going to be here before you know it. Now, some clubs actually allow their parents to sign up a few months in advance, so you can actually do your work in the off season and then open up registration as you see fit. So what we have here is I've got the 2016 fall swim team and the winter junior program. If I wanted to show the sessions for this winter program, I could certainly do so. As you can see, it's an 11-week session. You can see the period, so this will be the week, the cost. We'll register in a moment, but I would also be able to view who else is registered. So if you want to make sure that your son or daughter's friends are going to be at that week, you could certainly click on the View Registrations, and the names of the registrations will start to appear. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to register for, we'll register for 2 weeks. So these will be 2 of the programs, and we'll just simply hit Next Step. The beauty of this registration program is that it allows your parents to do all the registrations at one point. So I can plan my children's summer or winter programs all at one step. So I could sign them up for multiple sessions, multiple programs all at one time. That way you avoid having to fill out PDF form after PDF form after PDF form. This will put this in a database which will be easy for your program counselors to manage this once the program starts. So once I've selected the programs, one of the important things that you'll see here is that I have my children here set up as dependents within my system. So for those clubs out there who do not have their children in their membership database, you will want to make sure that you have them listed in your accounting system as dependents. That way they're pulled over to the website when the parent actually gets ready to register them. So as you can see, I've registered for, I have 2 sessions here, and we're my children, Sean and James. I'm going to sign them both up for the first week. However, I'm only going to sign up James for the second week. Sean may have another commitment, so he's not going to register on this area. So we could sign up for multiple sessions within one click of a button. We'll simply hit next step. And as we scroll down here, this is all the important information that, of course, the club needs to know. So one of the things that you need to know is that, of course, you're going to want to know the emergency contact information. The best part about this is that most likely the emergency contact information is going to be the same for both children. So by using the registrations modules, you don't need to repeat that twice. So we'll just go ahead and put in my friend here, Dawn. She's going to be the emergency contact for both of my children, her phone number. And we'll go ahead and I'm going to let the club know what my medical coverage provider is, my policy number just in case, and any notes for the club. Keep in mind that these are all custom for the club. So if you don't necessarily need to know the medical coverage provider, then you don't necessarily need to have that on the form. Our implementation team would help you understand how to create these forms and make these custom questions for you. Now, once we have the general information for my 2 children, now we get into the child-specific information. So as I scroll down, you'll notice that I have both registered Sean Abernathy and then my other son, James. Okay. Now, one of the great things about this is that you can ask custom questions here. So common questions for junior programs would be, are there any allergies that we need to be aware of? Well, let's just say Sean is allergic to peanuts. And maybe for this junior program, we're giving out shirt sizes. For those golf clubs out there, if you are having any junior leagues out there that are giving away jerseys or anything like that, you could certainly use this registration form for that sign up. But let's just say that we're giving out shirts for all the participants. We'll add small, medium, and large. And then you'll also have custom questions as well. There's no limit on the number of custom questions that you can have. However, keep the parents in mind so that when they're filling out this form, you want to make sure that you're not asking them 50 questions. Now, that's the information for Sean. Now let's scroll down, and I've got my other son on the registration. This is James. So here, maybe James is actually allergic to bees. And we're going to give him a large shirt. He's a little bit older. And we also have additional custom questions here as well. Once you complete the information for both children, you're going to simply just hit next step. Now, once you've gone to the next step, the other important thing that every club that I've worked with has is they usually have some sort of program guidelines. And these can be different for whether it's a swim program, a sailing program, a tennis program, but more than likely you're going to have some general rules and guidelines. Anything to do with cancellations, charging, maybe drop up and pick up, all those different information pieces that are going to be important to the camp counselors. Now, the great part about this is that you can't complete the registration until the member signs off on it. So that will allow me to go to the next step. Once it takes me to the next step, prior to completing the registration, of course, they want to be able to send the member the information. Okay, so as I have here, Francis Abernathy is the member. The total charge for what we have provided is $150 based off of the program sessions I've registered for. Then I can go down and see my individual registrations as well. Okay, so I could see that Sean is signed up for the Winter Junior program in week 3. However, James is signed up for both week 3 and week 4. And then this is the additional contact information that we added from the previous screen. Now, once I hit complete registration, an email will go out to the members confirming their registration. And then emails can also go out to the camp counselors if needed. However, it will also live in your database so that you can go back and check it at any point. Now, on the registration completed page, you'll see additional information such as an ID reference number. So if you're calling the club afterwards and you need to specifically ask about an ID, you can certainly reference that. Once I have all my registrations, I can view my registrations page. And then if I need to contact anybody, you can create some custom text here that will actually allow you to, whether it's email or phone number or any type of information that you need to provide on the completion screen. From the member experience, what we wanted to focus on is to make it super easy for the parents to be able to register all their children at one time. And we wanted to make sure that they were able to register for multiple sessions as well. Okay. Now that covers the member experience of the program registration. Now let's actually jump over to the administrative registration, because I know most people on the webinar this morning are going to be the people who are managing the setup of those areas. So I'm going to jump over to our admin area. And if the summer program module was implemented on your system, you would have a new area down here on the right-hand program called Programs. Now you have a variety of setup components here, and we won't go into too many details as to how to create all these programs today, mainly because each program is going to be different for every club. So what you'll want to do is make sure that you contact your account executive in your region or your client services manager, and they'd be more than happy to take you through kind of the individual setups of all the options that you have. But one of the things that I wanted to show you is that one, of course, when you're going in and creating the different programs, you would create them down here. But one of the things that is very important, of course, for the camp counselors is going to be your programs registrations, right? You want to make sure that you know who's coming and when. So if I went into my program registrations, what you can do is you want to make sure that you know who's coming to the program. So if I wanted to figure out who was coming to a specific program, I would look over here. Here's all my programs at this club. Now, you may or may not have a list this long, but what I'll do is I'm actually going to go in and select the 2017 Winter Junior program. Now, if I want to see which session is going to be there, then I would certainly just go in and I'm going to select one of the sessions. And as you can see from our demo site, we have quite a bit of sessions here. But I'm going to go ahead and select the 5th and hit search. Now, one of the great things about the system is that all of that information that the parent just registered in, it's all within the database. So I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit. And what I have here is I have the parents of who are signed up here. So it looks like Frances Abernathy has signed up their children, and then also Diane Bolivar has also signed up her children. So you've got the booking member, the reference ID, the participant. So this are the children that are set up here. And then you can also see the information for the program in the session. The nice part about this is that you can now export those registrations to create the list. And when you export that information, you can take that, you can put it out into an Excel file if you wanted to, which will carry over notes and contact information, because we know all the junior program counselors are going to be on the move. They're going to be all over the club, so they might not have a handheld that they can carry with them. They might have, their junior program folder. So you can easily export it if you want to. However, you can also access it in the member database. Now, let's just use a real-life example of what happens when a program is in session. So let's just say we're going to be using this for the summer of 2017, and our members are going to be starting to plan their children's activities in the winter. The club might allow your members to register their children starting in, let's just say, March and April for the June and July the programs. So what will end up happening is that everybody will try to register all at once, which is great. Hopefully you'll sell out of your junior programs very, very early on. Now, one of the things that you can do is set up when those registrations are available and when they're cut off. But let's just say we're now in the junior program, and let's just say Mother Nature throws a whole bunch of weather our way. That does happen, and maybe you need to notify the parents of the children attending that session. Well, maybe you want to do it in advance to make sure that they're prepared, or they're bringing a rain jacket, or they're bringing something for arts and crafts, since you might have to move it indoors because of the weather. Well, one of the great things about having the registrations within a database, you also get to use our email marketing tool. So if you wanted to send an email to your parents, you can do so. So let's just say I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add a proof, and this is going to be a junior program weather notice. And we're going to go ahead and create the draft. And using the email marketing tool, now keep in mind, you don't want to send it to all your members within your member types because they may not have children within the junior program. So what we prefer to do is allow you to use this new tool here called Program Registration. This allows you to select the specific program. And so let's go ahead and let's select the 2017 Winter Junior Program. And let's go ahead and select the session date. So we're going to go we'll scroll down since I have quite a few in here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select that program from the 5th. And what I want to do is I want to be able to send an email directly to the parents of only the children that are signed up for that registration. Because we don't need to bombard the rest of the membership because it doesn't necessarily affect them. So as you can see, we have two members signed up for this registration. They may have multiple children, but we won't be sending the emails to the children. We'll be sending it to the parents. So this is going to go to 2 people, and we're just going to go ahead and select an HTML template, select next, and then that's where you can go through and start to create your message using your email marketing templates or something that is predefined by the club. So it's a great way to be able to allow your parents to register all their children at once. It also allows you to create your attendance sheets, export those if you need to, and then also if Mother Nature throws a big rainstorm during the junior program, you can also email them out the information on a targeted basis. Now, that's a brief overview of what our junior program registration module does. Now, there's a variety of different things that clubs do when they are creating their junior programs. So what our team would do if this is something that you wanted to implement at the club, certainly what we would do is we would go through, we would like to take a look at all of your information just to make sure that the programs that you're offering would fit within this module. But one of the key components for all of those Members First clients on the call today is you want to make sure that you have your dependents listed in your database. So you want to make sure that if the parent is going to sign up their children, because their children are not going to have access to the member website, mainly probably because they're too young, but you want to make sure that they're listed within the database. That way, when I go to register them for certain sessions, they will appear there for registration. Okay, great. Now, what I'm going to do, that's a brief overview of what we wanted to cover today with the junior program registration. So now let's actually open it up for a few questions and answers. Now, keep in mind, questions, if you have any, they're in the GoToWebinar. You will find that there is a box on the right-hand side that you can start to type in your question, and I'll make sure to answer those in the order that they're received. Okay, great. Looks like we've got one coming in here. Oh, great question. So this one, this question comes through, and the question is, can a member register their grandchildren? Great question. The answer is yes. However, there's a little bit of a trick to it. So a member can register their grandchildren, most likely the grandparent is probably going to want to make sure that their grandchild is attached to their account. That way, if the member would like to add them, you would want to most likely contact the club and make sure that their grandchild is added within your membership database, most likely in your accounting platform. That way, they can be charged directly to their account. So the answer is yes. However, the member, in order to sign up their grandchildren, needs to make sure that their grandchildren is listed as a dependent on their account. Once they create that once, then they'll be available for them year after year. Great question. Okay, we've got another one in here. Okay, this question comes, with emailing specific programs, are you able to send email to multiple programs or just one specific group? So it really depends. So there is an area within the administrative side that, depending on how you set up your programs, if you have your program set up as a one individual session, then you're going to be emailing one specific session. Now, if you have, let's just say you set up a program as a week-long program, however, the week-long program is made up of 5 sessions, then you would be able to select the program and it would go to all of the sessions. However, what we would want to do is walk through the best way for you to create those programs to see if you're going to create multiple emails. At first glance, in most of our clients, they will create individual sessions, so they would email it to individual sessions. However, if you want to email it to the entire program, it could go out to the entire program and override the sessions. Great question. Oh, this is a cool one. So we did cover how to email the parents. So this question comes in: does the system send text messages to recipients? So I'm assuming, does it, if you're wanting to give a notification such as a weather notice to parents, I'm assuming that this question is related to, can you send an email or a text message? The answer is yes. But most of our clients use the email notification tool when communicating. However, MembersFirst is just getting ready to release our mobile app, which will allow you to send push notifications. And you could send targeted push notifications the same way that you would target your emails. So if, and the MembersFirst app is going to be announced shortly, but it will be coming out in January of 2017. And so if you do have the app, or if you've signed up for that, then you would be able to send out targeted push notifications to your members. Great question. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left here, so if anybody has any other questions, feel free to throw those in the question and answer. Okay, it looks like this question's coming in. Is there a fee for sending text messages? So it's so the types of messages that would go out through the MembersFirst app would be set up as a push notification to the app, not necessarily a text message. So if you were to send out the push notifications, there is no charge for sending out those push notifications. Now, there are plenty of other ways that, if you're looking to send out other types of notifications, there's great ways to do that through Twitter. However, there are also ways that you can kind of do it directly to the phone number. And if you do that, then it can cost something, but we would have to explore that further to see how that would work for your club. However, we would most likely recommend using the MembersFirst app. That way, you can not only send the push notifications through the app, but you would be able to use that through for other things at the club besides just junior programs. Great question. Okay, and looks like we've got one more that's coming through here. So can you create an attendance sheet for counselors? Yes, actually the answer to that is yes. So if I jump back to our admin area, and if we go into the programs area, you can do a registrations export, and you can export a variety of things. You can export the entire program or the individual sessions. And so if I just wanted to do the 2017 Winter Junior program, based off of, we could select an individual session if I wanted to. The start dates you could select. And then what you can do is you can actually select the areas to export. Okay, so we would do just a standard component, and then you can actually determine if you want to export the notes, include contact information, and then you can pre-sort how it is exported as well. So if you were to use a handwritten attendance sheet, then that's what I would recommend. However, most people might check the database once prior to the day starting. So a couple different options as to how to do that. Okay, great. We're right at we're just before 11:30, so I'll just hang on another minute or so to answer any additional questions that come through. Okay, again, just a reminder, if there is any additional questions, you'd want to put those in the GoToMeeting chat bar. There's a question panel that you can type those directly in there. Okay, great. I would like to, that concludes the webinar for this morning. I appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time out of their Friday to join us to learn a little bit more about MembersFirst Junior Program registrations. If anybody has any questions following the webinar, my contact information is on the screen here. You can reach me at sblile@membersfirst.com, and my direct phone number is 508-737-1118. Thanks again, and have a great weekend.